Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree 3 different reversible autumn decor pieces. The first one we're going to use one of these little blocks with the little shapes on top, a 8-inch box art, and two of the signs from the Dollar Tree. Basically one of them is going to be the thankful, the other one can be whatever you want it to be. We're going to use some white chalk paint as well as some other colors throughout the different DIYs, and we're going to use our utility knife as well as a metal ruler because safety first, and of course your hot glue gun and a Sharpie, just basic stuff, but you definitely want to make sure that you have your metal ruler so you're safe. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just rip the heart right off of that thing. And now I'm using my pliers. I didn't tell you you needed a pliers because I don't know that the new ones have that little stick sticking out. But this one is one that came out like about a year ago. Or maybe at Valentine's Day. Or maybe last Valentine's Day. I don't know. But all I did was I ripped the heart off. I trimmed off that little peg and then I sanded it down. And now for the two different box arts, I'm using two different ones. I'm saving the edges of the plaid for maybe another DIY some other day, but I want the piece off the front, and it's got these really nice bevel edges. What you do is you just snap all the sides off and you can just run your utility knife down to score all the paper, and then we put one coat of white chalk paint on it. We're going to put a second coat when the first one dries. But now what I'm doing is I'm going to cut this box art down. We're going to make the piece in the middle. So this was inspired by something that I saw on LTD Commodities catalog today. It actually is a brand new item. What they actually sell for $24 or $23.99 is you get two bottom plaques, one middle plaque, and two top plaques that switch out for 4 different seasons. But we're just going to do half of that. You can always make two of the bottoms and two of the tops if you want to. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it when we get, in a minute. But what I want to tell you that I've done now is I've created this box to be creating a 3-inch tall box. The reason I picked 3 inches is because the top wooden piece is 4 inches tall. The bottom sign is 2 inches tall, so I thought I would split the difference in the middle. They're all about the same width. On the inspiration piece, it was exactly like that. They were actually all the same width and the same height. They were just different, no depth, excuse me. They were the same thickness. There you go. And there were different sizes. They got shorter as they went in, but they were the same height and the same thickness, and they were just different lengths. But I wanted to go with this one that said thankful because I really wanted to make this an easy DIY. Because technically we're creating this box, but we're only painting one side. Then we're going to take the wooden thing, we're painting both sides of that, but then we're only doing one side of the bottom. And then the other two projects in the end, we're only doing one side to make them reversible. So I just wanted to keep this easy. So what I basically did was just cut the box down. I had to rip the sides open, but then just glued them closed. I glued the remaining side that was cut off back to the piece that I cut off of it. And then I basically just sandwiched them together with glue around all the sides. If you want it to be 100% perfect, you can go ahead and use either wood filler, or we filled stuff in with the hot glue and scraped it. But I'm not really that concerned. As you can see, there's gaps in the sides, and I'm not really that concerned with it. This is going to be for me. It's not a gift for anybody. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% concerned about that. But I'm basically coating this all with one coat of chalk paint as a base. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the wood piece for the top. I'm just going to do all sides. And what I found easy, this is sort of like a raw edged MDF on the sides. I found it easier to tap the paint in there because it wasn't very smooth, and when I wanted to drag the brush, it wouldn't really coat it really well. So after all of that's done, when it was dry, I went ahead and I just sanded down that edge, because once I painted that white, you could kind of see like the edge wasn't really sanded well enough the first time. So now I've taken a combination of Castle Gray, Parisian Gray, Moss, Black, and White, and I'm just creating like this muddy color. I wanted it to have a really, really weathered wood look. The original was actually, this piece was wood. The top piece was white, and the bottom piece one of them was white with red writing, and the other one was red with white writing. Actually, it was white, excuse me, white with black writing and then red with white writing. So I just wanted to be able to just change it up, make it different like that. So I kind of created that weathered wood feel. And now I've added the second coat of paint to this, let it dry, and now I'm going to glue it on. Basically, just attach it. It kind of fits in there. The edges of the inside are beveled of the piece, but not of the box. So you could go ahead and bevel the edges of the box so they match, or you just go ahead and glue it on like I did, which is fine. I'm happy with it. It looks really good. I'm not going like super up close or whatever. So now here's where you can get personalized with it. I am just freehanding a skull. I am not an expert at drawing skulls. If you are, please go ahead and make yours beautiful. But if you need to trace it off of a printer, printable, get a sticker, anything that you want to embellish it for Halloween on one side. I, of course, wanted to keep it black and white to go with the black and white check on the edge, plus that farmhouse feel, plus all my decor. And I wanted this to say spooky because I wanted each different piece of art for Halloween to say something different. So I thought this would say spooky. I put a little spider web in the corner. How I did the spider web was I started from the corner. I just fanned out a bunch of lines on diagonal. If you need to use a ruler, you can. Just keep the one point in the corner and then draw a whole bunch of lines. Try to keep them the same distance apart. And then just make arched lines between them. Spider is basically when you make the birds, like the seagulls used to make when you were little, like that look like M's. You just make 4 of them where the points touch, and then you fill it in with a body. Spiders are really easy too. So now for this piece of wood, I've decided I've got 2 different shades, the same colors. I'm just mixing them in different quantities to create 2 different shades. I wanted more of a warm green tone for the autumn and more of a gray, warm gray tone for the Halloween. So I've added a little bit more green to the one side, and then the other. And then on the edges, I basically made a mixture of both. Okay. And now once it's dried, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a super easy pumpkin. This is just a foam paintbrush, white chalk paint. And what you want to do is you want to draw a C on one side and then a backward C on the other. And that's pretty much how you can draw a pumpkin, paint a pumpkin. I know I make it look easy, but really it is. And it's paint. Practice, wash it off. As a matter of fact, I was trying to paint on the spider, and I'll show you how many times I repainted a spider when we go to do the dark pumpkin. But what I just did was I took some of the paint that we used for the background to shade it with, and I just drew a couple of lines on the same way as the pumpkin was and muddied it up, just made it fancy pumpkin. Now while that side dries, I've taken these stickers from the Dollar Tree again. I wanted to handwrite it. I'm probably going to peel the stickers eventually and just handwrite the Hensons anyway, but I wanted to show you guys options. Not everybody's got good handwriting or really likes their handwriting. I say still go for it, but I wanted to show you how you can put stickers on if you want. This set of stickers actually doesn't have, they're not all the same, but I did like their sort of farmhouse autumn tone. They had like navy blues and dark greens and stuff. So I put them together to spell the Hensons. The original inspiration piece can be personalized. But like I said, I made mine for $3 plus stickers and paint. Oh, $4 plus stickers and paint. The other one was $24. So even if I doubled it, it would be $7 because you don't have to make the middle one twice. Okay, and now I'm just going to make a ghost, which is actually easier than the pumpkin. You're just going to make a loop because the brush is so wide. You basically go up one side, down the other. And then for the mouth, I just took a big glob of paint and I put an oval for the mouth and 2 dots for the eyes. Okay, and that's how this looks with the autumn. And then this is how it looks with the Halloween. I think they're so cute. And you could switch it. Like I said, it's reversible. For the next one, we're just going to use one of these pumpkins. I chose to do the black one, but originally I was going to do the ivory one. But then I picked the black one because of the other pieces that I did. I thought the black one would stand up better. So I pulled off the raffia bow, and then there was some glue. I shaved the glue off because what we're going to do is we're going to put a farmhouse bow on it, and we're going to make it reversible. So whatever you have, this is a scrap left over of that farmhouse, of that buffalo check scarf. It's really just a tiny scrap. I had a little trouble making a bow. What I did was I just tied it around there, and because it's smooth now, when I want to switch it from Halloween to autumn, all I have to do is spin the bow around the stem. So the bow will go on this particular project. It was a little bit of a tough time getting the sticker off. I don't have a heat gun or a hair dryer, and I didn't have time to sit it out in the sun. Thank you for that tip. So what I ended up doing was wetting it, peeling it. The gum wouldn't come off, so I ended up just throwing a coat of black, flat black paint over the gum just to let it dry. And then once it was dry, I went ahead and just took white chalk paint and a brush. So I am going to do some hand lettering in this DIY, but I also showed you could do some stickers. I want to make it fair for everybody. I am just going to write trick or treat. I wanted them to be in different fonts, all 3 different fonts. So I've just taken my paintbrush and I rolled it to a fine point. Just took a tiny bit of paint to kind of almost like how we pencil the words on first. Didn't make it really heavy, and then I went back with the more paint to fill in and make it more of farmhousey, scrolly, scripty, whatever. I did or in tall, skinny letters. Not really that tall, not that skinny, but sort of an Arial font. And then I wanted to pick like a New Times Roman sort of thing. And these are computer terms, sorry. But I basically want like a book font. I wanted to do that for the word treat because I wanted it to be, the different fonts also makes it feel very farmhousey. Okay? And then you'll see I made a spider and didn't like it, washed it off. I made another spider, didn't like it, washed it off. I ended up liking the third spider okay, so I left him. But pretty much the same thing. You're just going to make 3 of the letter M's, sort of let the points touch, and then fill in a body. And here is how that one looks on its Halloween side. And for the last one, we're going to take this Hello Fall sign. It does have color on this side, which I kind of liked. All the other projects are very neutral. So I wanted to add a little bit of color. Peeled the sticker off the back. Added a coat of white chalk paint. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't a full coat. I threw a piece of duct tape down over the base so to not paint on it. And then I took, the trick is, if you're going to keep this two-sided, is to brush off the edge. Don't use too much paint and brush off the edge. Don't brush from the edge in, because what that'll do is that'll leave you big drips of paint. So you're just going to brush in towards the edge. And then I took the little tiny black paint that I had left over when I painted that pumpkin where the sticker was, and I added it to the stem, made sure I put a point, and then I took it and I basically made those lines. You want to basically make parentheses in the middle and then bigger parentheses next to them. I know that sounds silly, right? We took off the raffia bow because I didn't want it to be seen on the other side, and I tied it a little tighter, so made it a little smaller, cut the tails a little bit better, and then glued it lower. So the bow of the raffia bow is covering the glue spot, but you can't see it from the other side, and that's really the goal I really wanted. And now that I've shaded and done all the things with the paint that I like the way it is when it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and write Happy Halloween on this one. We're going to pick sort of a country cursive script sort of thing for the word happy, and then sort of a Ray Dunny kind of inspired Halloween. So what I basically did was I just wrote script, and then wherever the downstroke was, basically if you're from the top right to the bottom left, anything that you go in that general direction will be fatter. It's the only way I can really describe it to you. Because if you were holding a calligraphy brush marker, that would be what happened. As you pull it down, the marker would push into the paper and get fatter. So then I'm taking and making the straight lines. We've done this before. Just try to keep it level and even. I do all of my vertical lines first, leaving spaces for all the horizontal lines. And then I went ahead and I connected them all. And then I added another little bow out of a little scrap of that scarf, and I added it below the stem so you wouldn't see it from the other side. And here is how that looks as well. I really do love these. I love making two-sided items that can last throughout the holidays. So I hope you guys really enjoyed these projects. If you do, give it a thumbs up. I apologize if it's too early for Halloween or autumn, but I just bought these things and I really wanted to share them with you. So if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Share with friends and family, anybody who might be interested in learning how to make any of these projects or their techniques. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe. And when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.